Hi, everybody. This is Lee, and I'm talking about the brand new Congress again. I looked at the brand new Congress website to see precisely what they were trying to do. They have an about statement that I'll run through real quickly. They say that 80% of Americans agree that Congress is broken, and I do not disagree. I guess I'm one part of that 80%. But brand new Congress says both major parties have proven time and time again that they are either unwilling or unable to deliver results for the American people. But brand new Congress has an alternative. They are recruiting and running more than 400 outstanding candidates in a single unified national campaign for Congress in 2018. And so they're saying that these candidates will pass an aggressive and practical plan to significantly increase wages, remove the influence of big money from our government, and protect the rights of all Americans. And so that's what their intentions are for the brand new Congress. And I had my misgivings about this because I said that sounded a lot like our revolution, the campaign jump started by Bernie Sanders' people after he finished his primary run against Hillary Clinton. And at first, it seemed a good idea to support Bernie-crats, but then I noticed from the Bernie-crats page that they were removing people from the Republican Party that had actually endorsed Bernie Sanders. That they were removing the Republican Bernie-crats from that page, and that they were adding in centrist Democrats. So even if someone had endorsed Bernie Sanders, say for instance, and they were a Republican, like from New Hampshire, and they fully supported Bernie Sanders and they believed in Bernie Sanders and his platform, but they were Republican, they were removed. And then centrist Democrats who were not necessarily supporters of Bernie Sanders, who did not endorse Bernie Sanders, but instead actually were super delegates for Hillary Clinton, they were adding them in to the Bernie Crats list. And I saw this kind of startle me, and our revolution was sending out fundraising emails for them. And this got to me because I noticed, like in the state of Nevada, that there was an independent candidate for Senate, I believe, and he endorsed Bernie Sanders. And so he was a Bernie-crat. He was independent. He was left on the Bernie-crats page, but Our Revolution actually started sending out fundraising emails for the centrist Democrat who was a Hillary Clinton supporter, on, you know, in the Our Revolution emails. And so I had my misgivings about Our Revolution, what they were trying to do. I felt like they were trying to snow progressives into supporting centrist Democrats with the end game of turning Congress blue, towing the party line, behaving as partisans, similarly to Bernie Sanders himself. Whereas many people who supported Bernie Sanders were more interested in supporting progressives, regardless of party, and not centrist or moderate Democrats. So there's this kind of like slippery kind of sliding in and recruitment effort of recruiting campaign dollars, and where that money ended up, we couldn't say for sure because where did Bernie Sanders campaign donations end up? That question is still out. That lawsuit has still not been settled, and so people are very touchy when it comes to who they're putting their money behind. And so Our Revolution, I said I can't get behind that. And then now there's brand new Congress, and I kind of hesitated about what they were trying to do. I wanted to see and make sure that they were not duplicating Our Revolution's efforts in soliciting campaign donations or donations in general for as a front group for centrist Democrats. And so I wanted to investigate them a little bit further. There's also another group that's being run by the Young Turks. They have online presence on YouTube, and they have what they call Justice Democrats, that they are trying to recruit Democrats, specifically Democrats, to reform the Democratic Party for 2018. So everyone's focusing on the midterm elections, which is a good thing because often they go overlooked or underappreciated. And then we see our state legislatures running amok as a result. People not watching what they're doing. So we have the Justice Democrats being run by the Young Turks. And we also have Our Revolution being run by Bernie Sanders people that may be duplicating efforts, but maybe, whatever, I guess. And then now we have the brand new Congress, and they're all trying to um, kind of fill the Congress with reform minded people, progressives. The thing about brand new Congress is I looked a little bit deeper to see what they were trying to do. And I went to their FAQ page, and it turns out that one of my concerns was that their page, because I signed up to receive the emails, and when I signed up, I was redirected to a fundraising page that said Act Blue, and I said that sounds like a Democratic kind of thing, Act Blue. And so I went to the Act Blue main page, and it does seem like they're talking about the Democratic donors that have saved their payment information with Act Blue. And so I said, is this a Democratic collection thing going on here? Again, they're saying that they're powering Democratic candidates, committees, parties, organizations, and C4s around the country. We see some kind of brand statement with Al Franken, U.S. Senator, Minnesota, who's a Democrat. And we see a symbol saying DCCC. And so I'm not completely clear on what Act Blue is, but they are a fundraising tool being used by brand new Congress. And so I can't really say for sure what's going on with that. I'm just going to post a link to Act Blue in the description. You can look at it. You can decide if you can figure out what's going on. And then, of course, I'll be posting links to Brand New Congress. And if I can find links to Justice Democrats and Our Revolution, I'll do the same thing with them. But anyway, Brand New Congress has an About page with an FAQ. And so they're basically recruiting people with track records of integrity and service in the communities. They want to run them in a unified national campaign. And so rather than these people running their own campaigns or acting individually, they'll have the backing of a super PAC-like organization. And so let's see. They have a working group, which seems to be mostly volunteers. But when they get the first batch of candidates in place for 2018, then those candidates will be running the group. And so they've been actively seeking nominations from people all across the United States. And I did see that they do have one that they've announced as part of the brand new Congress, and I'm going to get to him real quickly after I go through something else. But on this FAQ, they describe the legal organization behind the brand new Congress, their staffing, who the candidates are supposed to be, and the criteria. And one of the questions that came up is, don't these candidates for Congress have to have legislative experience? And they're saying that no, members of Congress should have experience staying true in the face of adversity, working in the industries and living like the people that they will represent. And so they're saying that it's not really a valid concern that big city mayors and governors run for Congress, even though there's no legislating in those jobs. And that some successful Congress people have actually jumped into the Congress from jobs in banking. oh, actually, quite a few of them have jumped in with jobs from banking, from real estate, and from law. And that it doesn't seem to be a problem with people coming from different backgrounds. And in fact, we do have a president who jumped in from real estate and reality television to the presidency. So we see our President Donald J. Trump, that he is leading a nation with no legislative experience. It, stands to reason that someone could likely do so further down ticket. And so they're saying that they're not trying to run against the congressmen already in office who support the brand new Congress platform, that they don't want to run candidates against them. They want to run candidates who do not support the brand new Congress platform. And that includes Republicans. And so I think that's the difference between the brand new Congress and our revolution and the Justice Democrats, that the brand new Congress is actually looking for Republicans to run in Republican districts. They are not only running Democratic candidates, they are also running Republican candidates. And that if they run candidates in the primary, and basically they want to primary everyone who doesn't support the brand new Congress platform, we'll just put it like that. And if their candidate doesn't win in the primary, they will run an independent in the general portion of the election. So one way or another, they're going to have a candidate in the race. And so I think that's interesting that they're not really partisan, so to speak, focusing on Republican or Democrat, that they're running a spectrum. I do have a question in to the brand new Congress. They have an email. They have an email where you can ask them questions, and because I wanted to know, of course, I'm a supporter of third-party politics, progressive politics, and independent politics, mostly on this channel. I have a preference. And so my first question was, are they going to run Greens? Or is it going to be just Republicans and Democrats and then an independent? So I have submitted that question. I didn't see it answered on the page yet. I wanted to know if they were going to run Greens and Socialists, like Working Family, Peace and Freedom Party candidates in the brand new Congress. And so I'll wait to hear back, and hopefully by the time I assemble all the information for this video, I'll have that question answered. But anyway, there's more information. You can follow the links and get your questions answered to see what the brand new Congress is trying to do. The difference between the brand new Congress and the Justice Democrats, and then the Our Revolution, all of whom are making efforts to send candidates into office in 2018. So there's going to be a lot of excitement, a lot of focus on the 2018 elections, and I think that's a great thing. So many times they go ignored and unchallenged. There are many races where there's only a Democrat running and there's no challenger. And so, of course, the person who's on the ballot wins. And so a brand new Congress is saying, we're actually going to be challenging, which is wonderful for democracy. And in fact, there may be some duplicating of efforts, but I guess if there's a candidate that gets the most amount of support, hopefully they have a chance to unseat an incumbent, regardless of the party, whether it's a Republican or Democratic or independent who's not doing what they're supposed to be doing. If they have enough support, they'll be able to unseat and then truly represent the interests of the people. And I think that's important. I tried to illustrate that with the healthcare situation in Kentucky, the fact that there are 2 senators in Kentucky, a state with the highest rate of cancer, and they're busy attacking what available healthcare there is in Kentucky. Definitely, we need people who are truly representative of the people. These 2 senators have healthcare, but they seem to really not mind stripping away healthcare options for people in their states. And so that didn't seem right to me. I don't think it's going to seem right to brand new Congress, and so hopefully they'll be people taking steps to address this at all levels of government. Good luck.